Good evening, and tonight we're traveling back more than 3,000 years to the land of ancient Egypt. Before we begin, find a comfortable position, relax your shoulders, and let your mind slowly drift into the warm sands of history. Imagine that you suddenly wake up in ancient Egypt, not as a powerful pharaoh, not as a wealthy noble, not even as a respected priest. You are simply an ordinary person living near the Nile River. First, this might sound exciting. After all, ancient Egypt gave the world pyramids, temples, mummies, and some of the most fascinating stories in human history. But the reality was much less glamorous. In fact, most modern people would struggle to survive even a single week. The first thing you notice is the heat. The sun rises early, and the Egyptian sky quickly turns bright and cloudless. There is no air conditioning, no electric fan, no cold bottle of water waiting in your refrigerator. The air feels dry and heavy. By mid-morning, the temperature is already becoming uncomfortable. And this is only the beginning of your problems. Your home is small and simple. The walls are made of mud bricks baked beneath the sun. The floor is packed earth. Furniture is limited, perhaps a stool, a simple bed made from woven reeds, a wooden chest containing your few possessions. Luxury is rare. Comfort is limited. Most people own only what they truly need. Outside, the village is beginning to wake. Children run through dusty streets. Farmers prepare tools for another long day. Animals wander between houses. The smell of cooking fires drifts through the air. Life here revolves around one thing: the Nile River. Without it, ancient Egypt would not exist. Every year, the river floods the land, leaving behind rich black soil. This fertile earth allows crops to grow in an environment that would otherwise be desert. To the Egyptians, the Nile is not merely a river. It is life itself. You soon discover that almost everything depends upon it. Food, travel, trade, farming, religion, even the calendar. The river shapes every part of daily life. As the morning continues, you begin to realize something important. Ancient Egypt is not designed for comfort. It is designed for survival. Work begins early, very early. Most people cannot afford to sleep late. The cooler morning hours are precious. Once the sun reaches its peak, even simple tasks become exhausting. For farmers, the work never truly ends. Fields must be planted, canals maintained, animals cared for, harvests collected, and all of this must happen without modern machinery. No tractors, no engines, no electricity. Everything depends on human effort, and lots of it. If you are imagining a peaceful life spent admiring pyramids, you may be disappointed. Most Egyptians never saw the inside of a royal palace. Most never met a pharaoh. Their days were filled with labor, necessary labor, the kind that kept families alive. Yet despite the hardships, ancient Egyptians were remarkably resilient. They built one of the most successful civilizations in human history. For thousands of years, their society endured. Generations came and went. Kings rose and fell. Dynasties changed. But ordinary people continued their daily routines beside the Nile. As the sun climbs higher into the sky, you begin to understand why surviving here would be difficult. The heat, the work, the lack of modern conveniences. And you haven't even faced your first full day yet. Because tomorrow morning, you'll discover that breakfast in ancient Egypt is very different from what you're used to. And unfortunately, things are about to become much more challenging. As the first light of dawn spreads across the horizon, your day in ancient Egypt begins. Not because you're ready, not because you've had a good night's sleep, but because everyone else is already awake. The village comes alive long before sunrise. Roosters call into the darkness. Dogs bark in the distance. Neighbors begin moving through narrow dirt paths. There are no alarm clocks, no smartphones, no snooze button. Nature decides when your day starts. And nature is not interested in letting you sleep in. You sit up on your simple reed bed. Your back is slightly sore. The mattress is far from luxurious. In fact, calling it a mattress might be generous. The coolness of the night is already disappearing as the morning air begins to warm. Outside, the Nile glows beneath the early sunlight. The river looks peaceful, beautiful even, but the people around you aren't admiring the view. They're preparing for work. Because in ancient Egypt, survival depends on productivity. Breakfast is waiting, although breakfast might not be what you're expecting. Forget pancakes, forget bacon, forget coffee, especially coffee. Coffee won't arrive in Egypt for many centuries. Instead, your morning meal is simple, very simple. Bread, more bread, and possibly some beer. Yes, beer. For many Egyptians, beer is considered an ordinary daily drink. It contains nutrients and calories and is often safer than questionable water sources. Children drink diluted versions. Adults drink stronger varieties. To a modern visitor, having beer for breakfast might seem unusual. To an Egyptian farmer, it seems perfectly normal. You take a bite of bread. It's dense, coarse, much rougher than modern bread. Tiny grains of sand sometimes find their way into the flour during the grinding process. Over time, this actually wears down people's teeth. Many ancient Egyptian skeletons show severe dental damage. And unfortunately, dentists don't exist. If you develop a serious tooth problem, there isn't much anyone can do. The thought alone might make you appreciate modern dentistry more than any pyramid. After breakfast, work begins. The village quickly empties as people head toward fields near the Nile. The landscape is stunning. Palm trees sway gently. Birds glide above the water. The rich soil contrasts sharply with the surrounding desert. But beauty does not reduce the workload. Farming requires constant attention. Wheat, barley, vegetables, flax, everything must be planted, maintained, and harvested by hand. No tractors, no irrigation pumps, no modern equipment, only human effort, hour after hour, day after day. The sun climbs steadily higher. By late morning, the heat becomes intense. Sweat runs down your face. Your clothes stick to your skin. Shade is precious. Every tree becomes valuable. Every breeze feels like a gift. Modern people often underestimate how exhausting life was before machines. Today, countless tasks happen automatically. Ancient Egyptians had to perform almost everything manually. Drawing water, grinding grain, building homes, preparing food, repairing tools. The amount of daily labor is astonishing. As you work, you begin noticing something else. The insects. Mosquitoes buzz near the river. Flies gather around animals. Tiny pests seem to appear everywhere. Life near water has advantages. But it also brings challenges. Lots of them. And then there's healthcare, or rather, the lack of it. Ancient Egyptian medicine was surprisingly advanced for its time. Doctors existed. Medical texts existed. Some treatments were surprisingly effective, but many others were not. If you catch a serious infection, your chances are uncertain. If you break a bone, recovery may be difficult. If disease spreads through a village, there are few ways to stop it. Modern medicine is still thousands of years away. By midday, the heat becomes nearly unbearable. Workers seek temporary shelter beneath trees, simple structures, or pieces of cloth stretched for shade. The Nile continues flowing peacefully nearby, unbothered by human struggles, unbothered by the endless work. For a moment, you sit quietly and look across the landscape. In the distance, massive monuments rise above the horizon. Temples, statues, structures built to honor kings and gods. They seem timeless, immortal, yet behind every stone stands the effort of countless ordinary people. People whose names history never recorded. People who woke before sunrise, worked beneath the blazing sun, and somehow survived in one of the world's most demanding environments. As afternoon approaches, you begin realizing something important. You haven't even completed your first full day, and already you're exhausted. The heat drains your energy. The labor tests your endurance. The simple routines require constant effort. Ancient Egypt is extraordinary, but it is also unforgiving. And tomorrow, you'll discover just how dangerous daily life can become when nature decides not to cooperate. Because surviving the heat is one challenge. Surviving the Nile itself is another. By the third day, the excitement of time travel has mostly disappeared. The pyramids are still impressive. The Nile is still beautiful. But your body is beginning to understand a difficult truth. Ancient Egypt is exhausting. Every morning starts before sunrise. Every day revolves around work. And every task demands physical effort. As dawn breaks over the Nile, the village is already moving. Workers gather tools. Farmers head toward the fields. Boats drift along the river carrying supplies and people. The world feels alive, busy, purposeful. You quickly realize that there is no such thing as a lazy day. Not for ordinary people. Food must be grown. Homes must be maintained. Animals must be fed. Water must be collected. Life depends upon constant labor. Today, you find yourself helping in the fields. At first, the work seems manageable. The soil near the Nile is rich and dark. Birds fly overhead. The river sparkles in the morning sun. It's almost peaceful, but then the hours pass. The sun. Ancient Egyptians had only simple tools. Wooden plows, stone blades, handmade baskets. Everything required human strength. Even carrying water becomes a significant chore. Large clay jars must be filled and transported, sometimes over long distances. A task that seems simple quickly becomes exhausting under the desert sun. As midday approaches, workers pause briefly, not because the work is finished, but because the heat has become dangerous. Many gather beneath palm trees. Others rest near mud-brick walls. Some simply sit quietly and conserve energy. You notice something interesting. Nobody is rushing. People move steadily, carefully. Experience has taught them how to survive this environment. Pushing too hard can be dangerous. Heat exhaustion is a very real threat. And without modern medical care, even small mistakes can become serious. After a short rest, the work begins again. The afternoon feels endless. You glance toward the Nile. Its calm waters seem inviting. But the river has dangers of its own. Crocodiles live in some regions. So do hippos. And despite their appearance, hippos are among the most dangerous animals in the ancient world. Large, powerful, territorial. Many Egyptians respected and feared them. The Nile provides life, but it also demands caution. As the day continues, you begin noticing another challenge. Dust. Fine particles drift through the air. The dry environment creates constant irritation. Sand finds its way into clothing, food, tools, even your eyes. No matter how carefully you clean, more always appears. For modern visitors accustomed to climate-controlled buildings, the adjustment would be difficult. By late afternoon, your energy is fading. Your shoulders ache, your feet hurt, and you're beginning to understand why ancient workers developed such incredible endurance. They had no choice. Survival required it. Yet despite the hardships, there are moments of beauty. As evening approaches, the sunlight softens. Golden rays stretch across the fields. Birds return to their nests. The temperature slowly begins to drop. Families gather together. Children play near their homes. Cooking fires appear across the village. The smell of fresh bread drifts through the air. After a long day, these simple moments become precious. Dinner is modest. Bread, vegetables, perhaps onions, maybe fish from the Nile if you're fortunate. Wealthier Egyptians enjoy more variety. Ordinary people make do with what they have. And after hours of labor, even a simple meal feels rewarding. As darkness falls, the sky transforms. Without electric lights, the stars appear brighter than you have ever seen. Thousands upon thousands of them, stretching across the heavens. Ancient Egyptians often looked to the sky for guidance. The stars helped shape their beliefs, calendars, and understanding of the world. For a moment, you sit quietly and look upward. The air is cooler now. The village is calm. The sounds of the day have faded. It is peaceful. But tomorrow brings new challenges. Because hard work and heat are not the only reasons modern people would struggle here. Soon you'll face something even more frightening: disease, injury, and the uncomfortable reality that even a minor health problem could become a life-threatening event in ancient Egypt. By now, you've spent several days in ancient Egypt. You've worked beneath the blazing sun. You've carried water from the Nile. You've learned that life here is far more demanding than modern movies often suggest. But today, you're about to discover something even more challenging: staying healthy. In the modern world, we rarely think about how many dangers medicine protects us from every day. Clean drinking water, vaccines, antibiotics, emergency rooms, painkillers. Ancient Egyptians had none of these. And while they were surprisingly skilled for their time, survival often depended on luck. Your morning begins with a familiar breakfast: bread and beer. Again, at first, the simplicity seems charming. By the fourth day, however, you're probably dreaming about coffee, eggs, pancakes, or almost anything else. Food in ancient Egypt is heavily influenced by what can be grown locally. Wheat and barley are essential. Bread appears at nearly every meal. Vegetables such as onions, garlic, and lettuce are common. Dates and figs provide sweetness. Fish from the Nile is often available. Meat, however, is a luxury for many families. Most ordinary Egyptians eat it only on special occasions. The diet is nutritious enough to sustain life, but it lacks the variety many modern people take for granted. And there is another problem: food preservation. Without refrigeration, keeping food fresh is a constant challenge. Items spoil quickly in the heat. People learn to use drying, salting, and careful storage techniques. Even so, foodborne illness remains a serious risk. A simple stomach infection can become dangerous, especially when dehydration enters the picture. And dehydration is everywhere. The Egyptian climate makes losing water easy. Replacing it is harder. Workers sweat constantly. The sun never seems to rest. Many people spend their lives walking a careful line between productivity and exhaustion. As the day continues, you begin noticing signs of illness among some villagers. A persistent cough, an infected wound, a swollen tooth, problems that would send a modern person to a clinic. Here, options are limited. Ancient Egyptian doctors are respected professionals. In fact, some specialize in different parts of the body. This is surprisingly advanced for the ancient world. Medical texts contain treatments, observations, and procedures that show genuine understanding. But medicine still has limits. Many diseases remain mysterious. Many treatments are ineffective. Some are simply strange. One remedy might involve herbs, another might involve honey, and another could involve prayers to the gods. Sometimes treatments work, sometimes they don't. No one truly knows why. Then there are injuries. You spend most of your day working with simple tools: axes, knives, stone blades, heavy objects. Accidents happen. Frequently, a deep cut can become infected. A broken bone can end a person's ability to work. And if you can't work, survival becomes much more difficult. The reality is sobering. In ancient Egypt, even a minor injury can change your life. As afternoon arrives, you accompany a group traveling along the Nile. The river is calm, beautiful, almost peaceful, but danger hides beneath its surface. Mosquitoes gather near the water. Many carry diseases. Parasites are common. People often become infected simply by living near the river that sustains them. The Nile gives life, yet it also brings risks. This balance shapes every aspect of Egyptian society. As the sun begins its slow descent, you think about how much modern life protects us. Most of those protections are invisible. We notice them only when they're gone. Ancient Egyptians lived without these safety nets. Every day involved uncertainty. Every illness carried risk. Every injury had consequences. Yet despite these challenges, they endured. They built cities, created art, developed writing, constructed monuments that still stand thousands of years later. Their resilience is remarkable. As evening settles over the village, cooking fires begin to glow. Families gather together. Stories are shared. Children laugh. Life continues, because no matter how difficult conditions become, people adapt. Humans always have. And perhaps that's the most impressive thing about ancient Egypt. Not the pyramids, not the temples, not even the pharaohs, but the ordinary people who faced these hardships every single day. Tomorrow, you'll discover the final reason why most modern visitors would never survive a full week here. Because ancient Egypt wasn't just physically demanding. It required a completely different way of thinking about life itself. By now, you've spent nearly a week in ancient Egypt. You've worked beneath the relentless sun. You've eaten simple meals. You've carried water from the Nile. You've experienced the challenges of disease, injury, and endless labor. And perhaps you're beginning to wonder something. How did people do this for an entire lifetime? The answer is both simple and surprising. Because ancient Egyptians viewed life very differently than we do today. Modern people often expect comfort, convenience, entertainment, choice. Ancient Egyptians expected responsibility, duty, tradition, and survival. As dawn breaks over the Nile for what feels like the 100th time, the village awakens once more. The routine never changes. Fields need tending. Animals require care. Food must be prepared. Work continues. Always. There are no weekends. No paid vacations. No retirement plans. Most people work for as long as their bodies allow. Life is structured around necessity rather than personal preference. For a modern visitor, this adjustment would be difficult. Very difficult. Many of the conveniences we take for granted simply don't exist. Imagine spending an entire week without electricity. No lights, no internet, no television, no refrigeration, no modern transportation, no instant communication. As the sun rises higher, you realize something else. Information travels slowly here, very slowly. News moves by word of mouth. Travelers carry stories between towns. Messages can take days or even weeks to arrive. The world feels much larger and much less connected. Most people never travel far from where they were born. The village, the fields, the river, these form the boundaries of daily life. Yet strangely, many people seem content. Their lives are difficult, but they are also meaningful. Family is central. Community matters. Religion shapes nearly every aspect of existence. The gods are present in daily routines, in harvests, in floods, in victories, and in losses. Ancient Egyptians believed deeply in the afterlife. To them, death is not necessarily the end. It is a journey, a continuation. This belief provides comfort during difficult times. And difficult times are common. Life expectancy is far shorter than in the modern world. Many people never reach old age. Illness, accidents, childbirth, disease. Every generation faces challenges that modern medicine has largely reduced. Yet despite these hardships, ancient Egyptian civilization lasts for thousands of years. Longer than most civilizations in history. Think about that for a moment. Entire nations rise and fall. Empires appear and disappear. Meanwhile, the people of Egypt continue living beside the Nile, planting crops, building homes, raising families. And perhaps most of all, grateful that tomorrow morning you won't need to wake before sunrise to spend another day working beneath the desert sun. The Nile continues its endless journey. The stars shine above, and ancient Egypt slowly fades into the peaceful distance. Tonight you can simply rest, and let history drift quietly into your dreams.